there, my name is Tatiana and you're watching YouTube channel You Can. Today is April 28, 2024 and we are here at Nibblescapes Farm. Many moons have passed since the last video that we made and there's been a lot of changes here and I'm excited to show you all what has happened in the time that we were absent. So first and foremost, we put our tunnel house up, which was a big ordeal in and of itself. My husband and I tend to underestimate how much time things will take us, and we think, oh, maybe 1 or 2 days, and then it turns out to be 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, we finally got that tunnel house up. So come along, I'll show you what's in there. Welcome to the tunnel house. So it serves two purposes. One is obviously for our plants, which our plants have flood tables that my husband made. And the difference between a flood table and a regular greenhouse table is that you can basically pour water or fill the flood table with water, and all your plants will soak up water from the bottom up. And the good thing about that is that when you top water plants, you potentially may miss some cells or water just the first couple inches of the pack or the cell, and the rest of it will be dry and you will have no way of knowing. With flood watering, basically the soil absorbs the water from the bottom up, and once you see that the tops of your cells are wet, that means that the entire pack, the entire depth of soil has been filled with water. So we have all sorts of plants here: tomatoes, marigolds, eggplant, basils, and some of them got a little bit frost nipped so the difference between a tunnel house and a greenhouse is that a tunnel house has a single layer of plastic, and a greenhouse has 2 layers of plastic with like a air buffer to help regulate the temperature on the inside from the outside. We went with a tunnel house this time because we wanted to save a little bit on cost, and we didn't think we were going to get such a big frost, but our tomatoes got nipped a little bit, but they'll be fine. They'll survive and they will thrive. And so did the basil a little bit, but it is okay as well. But this tunnel house also serves a second purpose, which is our water pressure tank house. I had said in our previous video that we cannot build more than 3 structures on the property. So if we were to put up a structure that had a permanent roof, that would be the 3rd structure, as we already have 2 sheds on property. So we decided to put the pressure tanks into the tunnel house, and this is our well pipe, and my husband is currently in the process of installing the water pump, which is a process in and of itself that can be a little bit lengthy. Anyway, here's the wonderful water pump and all the wires that go with it, and the pipe, and Ziploc ties, and what else I have no idea, but he's working on it, and hopefully we'll have water from the well pretty soon. So a few really cool things that we have here are grape starts that we basically took cuttings from the grapevines that we have, and my husband propagated them, and now they have tiny little baby roots, and they're all in these wonderful little pots and growing more roots until we have time to plant them out in the vineyard area. Also, we have horseradish here, and we have some little pussy willow starts, and we have some thyme, which is going to be transplanted into our green areas, which I will talk about just a little bit later. Also, we have little pawpaws, which I am super excited about these because pawpaws are super expensive to buy, and we planted seeds from pawpaws that we ate the last summer, and they have sprouted and they are looking very, very strange, but they look good. This is how pawpaw starts apparently should look. But I'm super pumped about this whole, you know, tunnel house, flood table thing. And I can't wait to show you guys what's going on in the back there. Compost! Compost! Why compost? Since this is a certified organic farm, we had to get certified organic compost, which cost us an arm, a leg, half of the liver, and 2 kidneys. Zap! Not me, the animals. This is our animal control system. Basically, it's a shocking wire fence, and we have the top here for deer because they like to sniff first, so hopefully they get zapped, which it's been working for the last however many weeks since we had our beds planted. And then the bottom 2 wires are for groundhogs and rabbits, which that has been working as well. Cross my fingers. We have a whole bunch of groundhogs here, and if anybody has ever done any gardening and has had any experience with groundhogs, you will know that those things are literally hogs. They devour everything. So here we have our blackberry patch. Initially, we were not planning to plant blackberries, but somebody gave us a whole bunch of thornless, big blackberry plants. Basically, we just dug holes, put a little bit of compost in, and then planted them in, and then covered everything with wood chips to help prevent weeds from coming through. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the summer to see what happens here actually, because we did not put down cardboard. We should have put cardboard down first and then put the wood chips, but at the time we planted these, we didn't have any cardboard. So we just decided to chip it all. So that's what we did. So like I said in a previous video, we are doing the no-till gardening method. Now, why? You know, certified organic gardening, it's such a big topic. You know, you can certify organic farm by just using organic fertilizers, maybe using a little bit of compost. But our goal is not to just farm organically. It is also to rehabilitate the earth and to create an environment where lots of different species can coexist. So the idea behind these beds that we have is to create a situation where we're not tilling and messing with the soil every time we have to plant, but rather creating an environment where different types of bacteria and fungus can grow and basically can break down the nutrients into absorbable, absorbable form, so that the food that we grow here is not just certified organic, but also highly nutrient dense. This area right here, basically from these posts up to where these beds start, is what we call our green area. Basically, it is a strip where we will plant different pollinator type of plants like mountain mint and echinacea, oregano, some berry bushes maybe, just to create an environment where different beneficial insects, honeybees and pollinator bees and different like maybe predator wasps and different insects like that can live and make their home and also have food to eat, so that then they can take care of our cultivated plants like, you know, lettuces and onions and so on and so forth. So at this point, this area, as you can see, is bare because we've been really working hard at making these beds so that we can plant in vegetables, so that we can actually start selling our certified organic produce this spring, summer. So here we have lettuce, and we have onions, and we have radishes that are starting to come up. We went kind of overkill on the onions a little bit. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but we planted so many onions. We literally have onions on either side of each of these 3 rows of beds, and they're looking really great. I'm excited about them, but hey, who wants onions? Who wants onions? We want onions. I like onions. That's why we planted so many onions, but we'll see if people like onions. What is the sandwich here? The sandwich here is cardboard. Basically, the cardboard helps the weeds, prevents the weeds from sprouting up through the compost and through the wood chips. And by the time this cardboard disintegrates, which will probably be by fall, the weeds would have died because they need to synthesize chlorophyll in order to live. Like you see right here, they're trying to come out on the sides, but we will be covering this up this week. And then this row is basically compost, just 100% certified organic compost that cost us a leg, an arm, a kidney, and half of the liver. So this is what we put here. And then on the walk areas, we put wood chips. And the wood chips don't cost us really anything because my brother-in-law cuts trees and he brings us wood chips. And so do a few other guys who cut trees in the area. They just bring us wood chips. Thank you very much. But we planted the kale out a little bit early, and we've had a couple frosts since the time we planted this, and some of it got kind of zapped by frost, but it looks like it will come back because, like I'm looking right here, this leaf got zapped by frost and it looks kind of yellow and ugly, but in the middle here there's nice green leaves. So I am anticipating that the kale will flourish and thrive as soon as it can send some more leaves out so that it can actually synthesize chlorophyll. That's how we're going to be watering the plants here with drip irrigation as soon as my husband gets it done, hopefully in a couple days. For now, we have been running around with watering cans, which takes a couple hours to water all of this. It doesn't look to be that much, but it takes a decent amount of time to water it with watering cans because we have to go all the way to the greenhouse and then all the way back. Yeah, but we've been doing it. We've been managing. We have more beds out here, and we're going to have 15 or so more beds heading out that way, which we plan to fill with things like eggplants and tomatoes and peppers and basil and pumpkins and melons and whatever else we decide to fill them with. But I'm super excited about the way that these beds are looking and the way that they're working. We're not going to have to be fighting weeds, which was a big thing for us. We are backyard gardeners, but even though we have gardened in the backyard, I think all gardeners know that there comes a point in time where the weeds can kind of get ahead of you. And when you're farming on such a large scale, being able to keep those weeds under control is extremely important, especially that my husband and I both have full-time jobs besides the farm, which my husband is a web developer and I'm a licensed massage therapist and a licensed massage therapist birth doula. So besides doing the farm, we have other work that we do, and the farm is kind of like a side hustle, I guess, but it's becoming more than a side hustle. So weeds had to be completely, taken out of the equation. And I think we will be able to manage to do that by using the system that we're using right now, which is cardboard, wood chips, or cardboard and compost. This area right here is also going to be our green area, aka the pollinator garden, to help create a habitat for pollinators that will help take care of our cultivated plants. So we have another exciting area that we have started today actually, and it is our black raspberry patch. I will take you there and show you what's going on in that area of this vast landscape. "150-foot rows of black raspberries." So this plot for the black raspberries is 150 feet this way and 100 feet out that way. And we planted, I think, roughly 25 plants today. So all of this will get covered with landscaping fabric because we are short on wood chips right now because we're dumping all the wood chips on our seasonal grow space. So we don't want to use the wood chips here until we accumulate more. So in order to prevent weeds from overtaking this plot, we are going to put down landscaping fabric, which we will then remove and then put wood chips when we have them. But we did go through and we tilled this once to break up the soil a little bit and kind of kill off the weeds, or some of the weeds at least. But after that, this turns into like a permanent black raspberry patch, which will not be tilled. It will just be mulched and mulched every year basically with wood chips and maybe fertilized, I don't know, maybe sometime many years down the road, but we'll see. my favorite, the buffalo berry. The buffalo berry shrub, I am absolutely in love with these plants because of their benefit to the soil. First of all, they're nitrogen fixers, and second, they are just phenomenal. They smell amazing. Like, this whole area is permeated with the smell of blooming buffalo berries, berry bushes. And also during the day, there was a constant buzz. All of these bushes are covered with various types of pollinator insects, and the air is literally buzzing with bees and various other insects, which are gathering pollen from these shrubs. And I'm excited about that for a couple reasons. First of all, there's an environment and a habitat for beneficial insects. And second, you know, we have local beekeepers in this area. That means their bees are probably also gathering pollen from these buffalo berry shrubs, which we will be buying that honey most likely and eating it. So I'm excited about that. And second, we already have a good base of beneficial insects here, which means that our berry shrubs and anything that needs pollinated will be thriving because there's an environment for pollinator insects. So another exciting thing about the farm, we did find someone who is helping us on the farm. And maybe some of you have heard about the woofing program. Basically, it's, I don't remember the exact the word, but it's something to do with worldwide organic farming. But basically, it's an organization where people who like to travel maybe or want to experience farming sign up, and you know, if they like how your farm sounds and you know, what you provide, they sign up basically and start working at your farm. So we have a girl from the woofing program who is working with us once a week for now until things start to speed up a little bit. And it's been a huge help because it takes a lot of time and hands to do what we're doing here, and the hours that she was able to put in so far on the farm helping us make beds and plant various plants has been absolutely helpful beyond measure. And we have another helper without whom all of this farm work would be impossible, the great Kubota tractor. You know, doing all of this work with a wheelbarrow would have been literal insanity. For those of you who might be starting your own farm or working on a larger scale, gardening on a larger scale, the tractor is absolutely irreplaceable because you just scoop up whatever you need to scoop up, whether it's compost or chips or whatever, and you just drive to wherever you need to dump it, and you dump it and you drive back. It saves so much on time and effort and sweat. But yeah, we wouldn't be able to be where we are at without this good old guy. Now, actually, he's not old, very new. So we also have a generator here. Obviously we need electric or some kind of power to power the pump, the well pump. So we are going to be using a generator because currently we do not have the funds to put in a line, power line. And we were contemplating about using a solar panel, but that would take way too many batteries and space and also finances, which we don't have right now for that kind of stuff. But the generator is going to do its job, and it's going to be sufficient for now, for this year, maybe for next year, we'll see. But he's stationed where he's going to be at, and as soon as we get all of these wires hooked up, he's gonna start running. Stinging nettles. Stinging nettles is actually one of my favorite plants because stinging nettle is actually one of the few what is called nutritive plants. Basically, it's very rich in minerals, vitamins, and other nutrients that are good for people. Stinging nettle, as the name may suggest, stings if you touch it, but you can neutralize the sting with anything acid like vinegar, apple cider vinegar, or lemon juice. But it is extremely delicious in soups or stir fries. I make tea out of stinging nettle, nutritive tea, but we've planted a patch here and hopefully it kind of takes over this entire area soon in a couple seasons. And well, it also helps with weed control because it grows very densely and thickly. So areas that have stinging nettle don't really have any other kind of weeds growing in them because the stinging nettle kind of like really takes over. So I'm hoping that it will take over and kind of fill this area, and we won't have to really fight with weeds on this side of the tunnel house. For the future, basically we're working on more raised beds and planting more vegetables, and I think in about 2 or 3 weeks, again, I have no idea, we've not done this before, so it's all like kind of a guessing game, but I think the lettuce will be ready to pick in about 2 to 3 weeks, so will the kale, and we will have that for sale. We're planning to sell right from our location here on the farm. Also, we have a place along one of the major routes here, and we'll be selling close to that on that location. So if you want to follow along, we do have a newsletter that you can sign up. There's a link in the description. Also, we're working on a Facebook page and on a web page because you know, my husband does web development, so we will have a web page as well. But if you want to follow along and see what all we have available and when, please do sign up for the newsletter, and we will have that Facebook page set up and that web page set up sooner rather than later here. And I'm looking forward to this next couple weeks to see where everything goes. Thank you guys for watching, and thanks for all the comments and all the support. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Sunsets on the farm are especially beautiful. I think just, you know, the smell here is absolutely amazing, and the quiet, peaceful kind of environment, and you know, the end of the day is kind of like closure to everything that we've been doing all day. And it's extremely rewarding to see, you know, plants growing and insects buzzing around and birds singing their final songs. And it's just kind of like a feeling of satisfaction, you know, that we have this reciprocal type of relationship going on where we're creating an environment for the nature, and nature is giving us back with whatever gifts it has. Yay! We're ready to put the pump in. You will see my husband in action. This yellow line is what is called the safety line. So basically it's tied up to a tree in case he drops it. We can retrieve it.
There we go.
Yay! It is in. We got it. He got it. I helped a little bit. But yes, now all we have to do is hook up the generator.
If you want to test it out, we can test it out right now. I'll connect it.
So the brass thing that you see right here on the end, It's called a pitless adapter. Basically, it's this little flange thing that goes onto the pipe, and then on the outside, and there's like a little thing on the inside where the well pump pipe has an adapter on it as well, and just fits inside. Once he hooks up the generator, water's gonna pour out of that side right there.